Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on the VShojo situation, and this time it's to do with KSon. Now, obviously, as you guys know, KSon has been very vocal about all of the kind of mistreatment that's been going on behind the scenes over at VShojo and VShojo Japan itself, with her even going on to stream and speaking with the CEO of the Japanese VShojo branch. Now, obviously, this was a very great stream, and obviously, tons of people tuned in, and it was very, very popular at the time. Obviously, KSon has kind of gone a little bit quiet. Well, not quiet, but obviously, she's been going on Twitter, talking about it still, which has been great. But obviously, she hasn't really said much about it on stream or anything for a little while, but it seems like now she's given more updates and, talking about some of her trust problems after all of this situation, which is obviously very terrible. And it's something that a lot of these VTubers will also be having as well, not just KSon, but also other members of VShojo and even members that were part of VShojo, a while ago. And I think, obviously it sucks how this has ruined the lives of so many people in terms of, their trust, in terms of, how they work with people and things, because again, it is a very, crazy thing that's happened to them. And obviously, I wouldn't blame them for being scared of, getting into maybe another deal with someone else, or just not trusting someone in general, because again, it can be pretty difficult. But obviously, yeah, they actually have this clip here, which obviously is her talking about it. And essentially, she talks about the fact that she has a strong distrust of VShojo due to the financial mismanagement and the deceptive practices, including ignoring talent questions and making sudden announcements about bankruptcy procedures. So yeah, obviously they completely ignored talent, and they put out this whole kind of apology, kind of bankruptcy, kind of shutting down post, if you want to really call it that. But obviously, yeah, that was absolutely terrible. It's on 36 million views right now, and that was put up by Gunrun, the CEO of VShojo, and that was an absolutely terrible kind of response to that. And obviously, they go on to say as well that they feel deceived and that they have plans to cut ties with most people in the V-related industry, except their supportive manager. Which obviously, yeah, I mean that sucks, and obviously I don't blame her for doing it. To be honest, obviously, it seems like she's just very careful about what is going on in the space. And obviously, it's just one of these things that's happened. And, cutting ties with people in the V-related space is probably one of the best things that you can do, especially for your kind of mental and things. Now, I don't know if this means like talent or whatever, or if she just mainly means obviously companies. I can understand, companies and things. So I hope that it isn't talent, because I want it to interact with as many people as possible. Obviously, the VTubing and the kind of other space, how it all kind of works can be very toxic at times, and there's problems with that. But at the same time, it would be very disappointing if, she missed out on collaborating with some really great people as well. But I definitely do understand the avoiding of companies if it was just the company on its own. And they say, they also express a cynical view of the internet entertainment industry, believing that most people are exploitative and only interested in money. Despite this, they are grateful for the fan support and will continue their activities with a more cautious approach. So obviously, yeah, this is more of like a message of KSon just saying that she's going to be more careful and how she's going to be more careful, which honestly, as I said, is something that a lot of other VTubers are doing as well. We recently saw a post from ironmouse talking about the fact that people were trying to kind of pick her out and try to get her into a new agency literally like a couple of days after this all happened, which honestly is pretty crazy. I mean, it hasn't even been that long and people are already trying to kind of poach her into joining, which I think, I think that's like completely messed up. I think you should let her take her own time with that kind of stuff. And obviously that's why you shouldn't trust a lot of people in the space, because they will try to do that. They will try to take advantage of you, whether it's in the fact of VShojo taking money in that sense of advantagement, or maybe a company, picking you up early because they want to get a lot of the kind of infamy from that. That's also another kind of thing as well. But obviously people have been talking about this in the comments as well, saying, even if I agree, don't immediately trust anyone who comes to you. Mindset is the best way to go. It kind of hurts to hear her say that. I'm not saying don't be a good person ever, just be careful, which I guess she's following. So keep your arms open for a hug, but make sure they don't have a knife first. I said, it's so true when it comes to working though. Unfortunately, you can never fully trust someone, not even co-workers you think are close. I mean, look what happened with Cinder 2, which, is 100% true. I mean, it is one of these situations where, your entire, perspective of kind of trusting someone is skewed because you've been completely screwed over by someone. And it is very important to obviously try to stop that before it even happens, if it was to happen again. So again, people have been massively agreeing with KSon here in the sense of like, yeah, 100% agree that, she should, kind of cut a lot of ties and things like that, just to keep herself safe. She's not cutting ties because, she might be sad about the situation, but it's not like one of those kind of things. She's cutting ties more so to keep herself safe. And obviously, they said to use a motto, has some serious issues, trust but verify. If someone says they're going to pay you, believe them, but also get them to confirm the date as an email, and then follow up on that with a reply to their email, and also begin CCing people in to get it done. Which, yeah, 100% true. It's just more about keeping yourself safe and making it a little bit more secure. It's not just like, you don't have to cut everybody off. For example, you could, just make sure that, things are in place. And as they said, make sure you get a date as an email, and obviously, reply to that email, CC people in, so you get as much evidence as possible so you don't get screwed over on the next time. They say, I just watched the video and there are already people taking her rant up at 11, constructing their own narrative when she is very clearly just ranting and using hyperbole because she got scammed and getting away and getting scammed sucks ass, which, yeah, is 100% true. Obviously, I think a lot of people haven't been too happy with that video. I don't really know why. I mean, it doesn't really make much sense. I mean, she's been through quite a lot. It completely makes sense why she would be very untrustworthy when it comes to this stuff. I mean, it's got quite a lot of likes. I don't really know why some people were, trying to, spin this into something else. But obviously, yeah, people saying, why not make your own company? I'm the idiot who got scammed here. Who's going to join me if I make my own company? I'm the face of all idiots right now. So this made me laugh way harder than it should have. She's extremely frustrated and being way too hard on herself. The energy was still hilarious, and that is something that I noticed with KSon. She was being very, very hard on herself. I don't know if it's this tweet or one of the other tweets, but she was kind of like blaming it a lot on herself, when obviously a lot of this isn't to blame on her, on the talents or anyone like that, but again, she was trying to make out the fact that it's my fault, I wasn't ready for this. Yeah, here you go, you can see the man, I wasn't ready for any of this. Not 50%, not 2%, we're going way beyond Yakuza. I think it was, yeah, so obviously, people saying it's not about money, it's about the dreams that they've shattered. I've deleted posts because it's going nowhere, I'm tired. Obviously, that was some of the kind of things that she was talking about, and, kind of going a little bit, blamey on herself, which I think was a little bit, not weird, but obviously, I can understand why someone would want to do that. But I think at the same time, it's really not KSon's fault that any of this has happened, and it's not her fault that she got misled like this. It seems like a very, very, great opportunity to be a part of VShojo and to kind of, get all of these deals and things. And the same goes for all of the other talent that signed up to this. But obviously, it just turns out to be a big scam, which just, obviously sucks. He said, so the most trustworthy way to get KSon merch is through Yakuza. Yep, even the reliable ones are evil. They said, I wonder what she'd said later on, now as things are all too fresh. They said, I can understand the resentment, but after all the stuff that's happened, still to say all outright evil is not a very healthy way to look at the business partnerships. They say the main problem I think, is relatively young business compared to stuff like music, TV shows, theaters, or other kind of entertainment formats. It's not standardized or full of people with experience and honest intentions. They say the VShojo thing is an example of how people really don't know how to run a business or make stupid decisions that lead them to straight up crime and jail, while the talents get emotionally destroyed because of money concerns or personal feelings. So what the industry needs to learn is to make a good business plan with honest people who love what they're doing, pushing VTubing forwards and trying to level out talent freedom, making them happy with ability to financially sustain the corpo. As of now, I think corpos need to learn since the trust in the scene is shattered. They say Hololive is doing exactly that. We still see millions of people out there calling it evil corpos, lol. People are so dumb and naive, I swear. The world doesn't just run on dreams and hope, it's run by blood and money. They say, yeah, of course, it's important to call out everything since it's in the human nature that there are people who solely exist to exploit and take advantage of you. Even good corpos have those people, but the supervisors need to keep those people in check, which, yeah, it's 100% true. They said, regarding Hololive, people get the wrong impression. It's normal if business relationships don't work out. It's not always foul play. simply interested in a line, or the talent simply want to make more money as an indie since they are well established. So actually the corpos are screwed big time because they can't rely on talent to always be raking in cash for them. So they said, so that's why I wrote, make the talents happy so they stay. But in a manner where even talent cannot exploit the corpo into losing even more money than earning it. Which, yeah, unfortunately is true. It's a little bit of a kind of like talk about, how corpos work in VTubing as well. Obviously, it's a very new space. It's a very new thing that's happened. We haven't really seen anything outside of obviously the Hololives and the Jisanjis and now VShojo, and obviously 2 of them aren't that great. So, it seems like it's now a kind of opening for a lot of other VTuber corpos to step in and maybe provide a better kind of space, and a space that doesn't do what these people have done in terms of exploiting people, and instead make an actual positive space and an actual beneficial space to both, the agency and also to the VTuber themselves. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also go to GameSubs, use my code KSon, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, I'm very interested in what you guys have to say about KSon obviously shutting a lot of people out after all of this drama. Obviously, I think, obviously it's a very fair way to go about things. But, I hope that she does, try to collaborate with some people in the future. But yeah, that's about all I got, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So, see ya.